There we go. There we go. I must be honest. It's not the best start to the day. Let's just say that. I slept in this morning, of all things. And I don't know about you, me personally, I hate sleeping in because it makes me feel like everybody else in the world has gotten a leg up on me for the day. And I like it to be the other way around. I like to be an earlier, not early, I won't say early because I know there's a lot of people that rise far earlier than I do. But I like to be an earlier riser so that way I get up and I feel ahead of the eight ball. But when you sleep in, obviously you feel like you're running behind schedule and you're kind of swimming up shit creek for the rest of the day trying to get everything done in a relatively respectable fashion and respectable timeline or schedule. But yeah, it is, I'll show you the time. It's currently nearly 1:30 and I'm just having my pre-workout meal now, about to head to the gym and train limbs. Second limb session of the week, so that's the posterior biased or posterior heavy limbs session. Single arm preacher curls, some triceps work, and then hamstring curls, Romanian deadlifts, and then one set of leg extensions to finish off. So thankfully it's a bit of a shorter session, which means I should be able to get in and out well within an hour if I'm efficient with my use of time and if nobody comes up and interrupts me in my session. So that'll be the plan of action. But as you can see here, you can't, but the coffee warmer that Michaela bought me a while back does not have a coffee on it. And the reason for that is I ran out of decaf coffees the other day. So I've placed another order with Nespresso that should arrive in the next couple of days because the express postage usually takes about 1 to 2 business days to reach our place. So yeah, fingers crossed that arrives tomorrow at the earliest or Thursday at the latest. Because I don't like not being able to have a second coffee or a third coffee for the day. And I've actually already broken my usual constraints that I place around caffeine consumption. I've had 2 regular coffees today already. Normally I only have 1 regular coffee and then I'll just have decaf for the remainder of the day, but beggars can't be choosers, and I really did want a second coffee. So yeah, I had a caffeinated double espresso this morning before I did my cardio, and then I had a caffeinated coffee when I started my first block of work for the day. But because I did sleep in, of course, I was running behind schedule. There was a displacement of about 90 to 120 minutes with work. So it's the reason why I finished work now rather than 11 o'clock, which is when I typically finish work on Tuesdays, being that it's a bit of a shorter check-in day for me. Finished work 2 hours late, eating 2 hours late. I'll be going to the gym 2 hours late and just wrapping up my entire day 2 hours later than usual. Hopefully I can just move something from today's to-do list to tomorrow, so that way I can kind of shorten things and overall still get to bed at a reasonable hour and not have today spill over into tomorrow and affect the flow of tomorrow, because I don't want it to just be a continual, lag through the remainder of the week. I actually want to get caught back up, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, what you're looking at here is I'll do a close-up. So what you're looking at here is the usual meal number 1. I will take my first serving of heart and kidney support. I still haven't done that yet. I've just been flat out with work, just getting all the check-ins squared away for the day. But now that they're all boxed off, it's time to eat this and then head to the gym. Yeah, I thought I'd quickly touch on what do you do, or what should you do, or what do I do when I say have a day like this and shit hits the fan? Do I just skip what I normally do first thing in the morning and then whatever I am due to be doing at that point in time as per my schedule, do I just start there? And the answer is no. I basically backtrack, because the way I structure my days is I always do the most important tasks to the least important tasks from the start of the day to the end of the day. Now, most important tasks, of course, waking up and making sure that you're ready to start work. So fasted cardio, journaling, that little bit of me time, I'll make sure that that is the first thing I do in the mornings. With the exception, of course, of the tail end of contest preps. When I've got athletes at the tail end of contest prep, it kind of just revolves around them, and my entire routine kind of just goes to shit, to be honest. But that's what you do as a good coach. You prioritize your athletes. But every other point in the year outside of, so with the exception of peak weeks, the final few days leading into the show for an athlete, I wake up, do my morning journaling, do my morning cardio, that sort of thing. And then I dive into my first most mentally taxing block of work, and that is check-ins. So then I do my check-ins, and then after that I have my first meal, then I go train, then I come home, and then I do the remaining work that I have for the day, responding to client messages, athlete messages, editing videos, editing this stuff, doing content creation for Instagram, and any other admin back-end work that I need to take care of, whether it be accounting related stuff, finance related matters, or say running errands, getting groceries, that sort of thing. So that's how I structure my day. I would highly recommend adhering to that kind of a layout or a structure if you ever, say for example, find yourself in similar shoes. You wake up first thing in the morning, you're in shambles. If you can, of course. If you can't, like say for example, you work for somebody else and you have a schedule that you have to adhere to, then you obviously just do whatever needs to be done there. But assuming that you're in a similar position to me, where you might be self-employed or have more flexibility over your day because you say work from home for an employer, then you have the ability to be able to have a level of jurisdiction over your day and how it unfolds that not everyone does. So definitely make use of that. And I think the best thing to do is always get the most work intensive stuff done first, and then progressively titrate down from there as the day goes on, because you don't want to get to the end of the day where you've got fuck all energy and you've just left your most mentally taxing block of work or most mentally taxing tasks to get done, because I can tell you, you are going to stumble, you're going to fumble, and you're going to fuck up. So yeah, take a page from my experience so you don't have to learn the hard way. The best thing to do is to wake up and just crack on with the most difficult task first. And because I structure my days to begin normally with the most difficult task and end with the least difficult task, if I wake up late, I still do everything in the same chronological order. And that's the advantage of putting more thought and periodization into your day, planning your day out with more of a consideration to how things need to be done and what things need to be done during the day. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this meal and head to the gym, so. Okay, time for the post-workout Ninja Creamy. 400 ml of fit milk, which is the Australian equivalent of Fairlife milk. Then you've got 1 scoop of protein powder, 5 grams of 90% cacao dark chocolate as a mix-in, and that's pretty much it. That, and then the rice cakes, powdered peanut butter, and Manuka honey, of course. And I'll have a betaine HCl, lactase, and I'll also have my noon supplements because I didn't have those before training, which I normally do. So that's that, and then straight back into work. Okay, so it's currently, don't know if you can see that, 10 to 6 at night. I just finished editing the next YouTube video, which will be up before this one that you're currently watching. And would you look at that? I received an email confirming that my decaf coffee pod order is on the way. I placed that this morning. The beauty of Nespresso, I don't know if it's the same in America or Canada or the UK, but in Australia, if you place your order on a specific day before, I think it's 2 p.m, it gets posted out and mailed out that exact same day, so quite handy. But yeah, that is that. Yeah, 1 hour of steps boxed off. I finished responding to a couple of emails, a few WhatsApp messages, just some clients with some technique reviews. All right, so it is all done and dusted. I've boxed off the remainder of my emails for the day. I've responded to my athletes and clients who sent through some lifting videos throughout the afternoon, asking for some technique feedback. I have edited the next vlog that will be up, which will be before this one, the torso session from Monday, along with another 1 hour of steps on the walking pad. Now, I could have quite easily made an excuse to not get any one of those done due to the fact that I woke up late, I slept in, and I was behind the 8 ball the entire day. But you know what? Excuses don't get you closer to your goal. And that's what I wanted to talk about. It's something that I hold near and dear because me personally, I was always that person, that kid growing up, that teenager growing up, even that young adult, whereby I would just make excuse after excuse after excuse as to why I wasn't where I wanted to be. And it was always someone else's fault, or I missed a window of opportunity. I'd tell myself that quite often. or it was something that happened in life if it wasn't someone else. But the reality of the matter is 90% or more than 90% of the time, it was actually my own doing. It was my fucking fault. And I was too in denial to admit and own up to that fact. And I think that's where a lot of people are, to be honest. I mean, in fact, there's a client of mine. I'm not going to name them just to respect their confidentiality, but there's a client of mine who I guess so graciously kept on board because they were a friend to a degree before they were a client. And they've been on for years. I'm talking, they've been on as a client on and off since 2019. And I get a lot of fulfillment out of helping people achieve and reach their goals, see improvements in their health, their body composition. But there's a limit. Everybody has their upper threshold of what they will tolerate, right? And I've gotten to a point now where I've just realized this person is not going to stop making excuses for themselves. They're not going to do what they need to do that is in their best interest in order for them to see results. And it just brought the idea of talking about this matter to the forefront of my mind, which is why I'm talking about it now. And that is excuses. Look, you can create every excuse under the sun as to the reason why you aren't where you want to be in life, or as to the reason why you haven't acquired whatever materialistic goal it is that you were working towards. Like, there's a level of ownership that you have to hold yourself accountable to. Like, sometimes, yes, it is the byproduct or the result of an external factor. A lot of the time, it's your own doing, though. At least part of the hand is yours to play. And I was always one of those individuals where I'd make every excuse under the sun when I was younger. It was their fault. It was this situation. That's the reason why I wasn't able to, say, have my assessment finished on time, or that's why I forgot about this important event and I didn't turn up, or that's why I was late to work. It's because of this and that. But the reality is 90% of the time, or more than 90% of the time, it was a byproduct of a culmination of decisions that I'd made leading up to that point. And that's the case with almost everyone. Like, you need to take a honest to God look in the fucking mirror and ask yourself, am I really doing everything that I possibly can in order to achieve my goals? Or am I doing things that are, in actuality, take me further away from that goal or that target? Because a lot of the time, whether we are unconsciously or consciously making decisions, we are making decisions that are taking ourselves further away from our target or our trajectory. And you need to have a very unbiased look at things from a bird's eye point of view, and learn to take ownership for your actions or lack thereof. Because a lot of the time, that's what your lack of results and lack of progress comes down to. It's you not pulling your fucking finger out and doing the fucking shit that needs to be done at the end of the day. And so, yeah, just have an honest to God conversation with yourself. That's all I'm suggesting. If you ever find that you're in a situation where it just feels like you're treading water, you're not getting any closer to your goals, are you making the fucking most of your time outside of work? Are you making the most of your time in the lead up to bed? Are you prioritizing sleep? Are you getting your nutrition dialed in? Are you taking the necessary steps and I guess delegating the 1 or 2 hours a week, the insignificant 1 or 2 hours out of your entire fucking week it takes to prepare food in advance so you don't fall off the bandwagon during the week when decision fatigue and decision making is going to be more pressing and more stressful. Like, it's about setting things up to make things easier for yourself in the long run. And yeah, look, I had to blankly stare my inadequacies in the face as I grew up and as I was getting older. And it got to a point in my mid-20s, I want to say, where I really started pulling my finger out and just taking that step back and rationally auditing my life and looking at where I was wasting time. Similar to how you look at your bank statement and figure out where you're wasting money. Like, if you want to make more money, almost always the best way to make more money isn't to earn more, it's to figure out how to unfuck your spending so that you are accumulating more money. It's a similar thing with your time and reaching your goals. Audit your week, audit your schedule. How much time are you fucking pissing away doing stupid shit that doesn't get you anywhere closer to your goals or doesn't do anything beneficial for your mental or your physical health? Staying up all hours of the night just because you had a big day at work just to get some me time is fucking stupid if it feeds into your sleep and then you don't get sufficient sleep, your brain's not functioning properly the next day, your health is in the gutter. I mean, getting 5 hours sleep a night as opposed to 7 hours sleep a night is enough to reduce your natural killer cell production substantially, to the point to which you're pretty much immunocompromised walking around. And then you get sick, and then you got to take a week off work, and then you are at a financial loss because you can't fucking work. Like, do you see how like the little decisions very far out can really affect and impact things down the line? It's a matter of making smart choices well ahead of schedule, well in advance of when shit hits the fan, so that way shit doesn't get a chance to hit the fan, or if shit does hit the fan, you have far more control over the outcome. So that's what I want to talk about. Like, it's all good and well to I guess cut yourself some slack, give yourself some sympathy in certain situations and positions in life whereby, yeah, the external circumstances might not be ideal. Sometimes it is something's fault or someone's fault. A lot of the time it's your fault though, or at least in part it's your fault. And even when it is someone else's fault or something else's fault, there's still a lot of the time a part in which you contribute to that overall outcome. And if you can so much as just change the way you contribute to that outcome, it could be the difference between shit hitting the fan and shit not hitting the fan. So just recognize that you have far more control of your life and the trajectory that your life takes than you give yourself credit for and that you think you have. And don't let yourself make excuses. Just don't. Like, it's pathetic. It really is. And maybe I've just got high standards for myself. Who the heck knows? But I think everybody should hold themselves to high standards. It's healthy. It's how we get better in life. And again, everyone has rough times. It's not about that. I mean, I'm very sympathetic with everybody I work with. If somebody's going through a tough time, I'll be a shoulder for them to the best of my ability. But if it's going on for several years, it's not a hard time in life. You're just being soft and you're not holding yourself accountable. It's that simple. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully you were able to gain something from that. With that said, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you in the next video.